Welcome to another video, and oh my god, this is a project I have been looking forward to for very long. Today we will create the ultimate PowerBook G4. Right here I have a G4 PowerBook, but not just any G4 PowerBook. This is the last 15-inch PowerBook before they moved to Intel. So this is the 2005 model year 1.67 gigahertz variant. So the fastest there ever was with the Radeon 9700 with 128 megs of VRAM. This was the fastest PowerPC laptop they made. They made also a 17-inch version, of course, but had the same power. Now this is, funny enough, my third 15-inch PowerBook, but it's by far the coolest because it's the fastest, obviously. Now, I said ultimate because we're gonna do some cool stuff to it, of course. It does work perfectly. Right now it has a respectable gigabyte of RAM, which is pretty cool to see. But of course that's not gonna stay. We have here two 1 gigabyte sticks, so that will max out the RAM on this to 2 gigabytes. And alongside with that, we will upgrade this from its hard drive, which is, I know you probably want to know the size. It's a Toshiba 80 gig drive to a SATA SSD with only 64 gigs, which is kind of a downgrade in size, but it's gonna be much faster. And it's, I'm not gonna be using it for anything, so the size really doesn't matter, but it's gonna be fast. And I will put it into this adapter, which just bolts in like a normal drive. Unlike my other G4, which I modded with a SATA SSD, and I had to take apart the SSD in order to get the stuff to fit in there. You can check out this video, it's pretty ghetto, I know, but here we're gonna do it right. We're gonna do it perfect. This is gonna be the pretty boy of the lineup, the fastest, the best looking, just the ultimate G4, and that's why, yes, I spent so much money on this. When I looked for those on eBay, those are getting quite expensive. But I found this at a yard sale in my region for 30 bucks alongside with that iBook there. So what a deal this was. Oh my god. So yeah, it's working fine, screen is fine, keyboard is fine. It's a little worn, but hey, it's old. And of course, as always, it's freaking filthy. So when we're done with the upgrades, we will of course give it a nice clean. And yeah, I will take you along the ride. And I really don't want to mess up the screws like I did on my other PowerBook, so I will actually write them down. Oh yeah, and I also forgot to say, we will of course replace the thermal paste because it's so old and crusty, and on such a cool machine, it deserves it. So that's why we'll do it. Alright, let's do it then. So, and here we are. This is as far as I've ever disassembled a PowerBook G4, and it wasn't really all that bad. I only had some issues here. It just wouldn't come out. That's because, as you can see, the frame is bent inwards, and it was holding on it when I tried to pull it out. But with some wiggling, the board just slided out just like it should. So no problems there. As you can see, the thermal crust is right there. And now we can take a look at the sweet processor. So here it is, cleaned up. That is our PowerPC chip right there. Nice and shiny again. And here, that is our ATI graphics card. So yeah, this crusty mess wasn't helping, and PowerPCs, they are not really known to run all that cool, so replacing that paste really is a good way of trying to cool this thing better. Here are also the old RAM sticks. I'll just try to get them out with one hand there. Those are two nice 512 megabyte modules, so I'm sure I'll use that somewhere in a PC one day. As you can see there. And this is also finally a PowerBook G4 I have that where one of the RAM slots isn't broken, so both RAM slots work. Oh my god, crazy. So yeah, it's kind of a shit design, but it's Apple. I mean, I won't complain too much because I'm used to that from them, but you have to, this is the modem where it plugs, and you have to kind of do that while you're setting it in there, since this cable is just not long enough. So when I have to reattach it, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Same with this connector, which is I think power, or is the power somewhere else? Oh, I think that's the power. That's something else then. That's for sure the power. And here is our dual layer super drive, which, oh my god, even works. Can you believe that? And yeah, we'll put some new thermal paste in here, and then I'll set the board back in and screw it back in and get it ready for the hard drive upgrade. And before we seal it all up, putting all these 100 screws back in, I'll boot it up and make sure that it actually works. I don't really want to do that all again, screwing it all out if something needs to be troubleshooted. So yeah, let's do it then. Alright guys, I took the chance because I was just chatting along with my friend on Skype, and I reassembled the entire machine, and guess what? It booted up, no problem whatsoever. So what I'm doing right now is I have here my other G4 Powerbook booted up, and I connected our Ultimate Powerbook to it, and it does show up. So that was a little worry I had. I had the fear that it might not recognize it because of the adapter and whatnot, but apparently no problem. So let's try formatting it. So here's our target disk, and what I will do is, because I'm lazy, I will just clone this install to that Powerbook because it's got all the cool pieces of software on it and all the updates, so I don't have to first of all install Leopard for really long and then run the updates for really long and then copy the stuff for really long. Here I can just do it all at once, and I can, delete the stuff that I don't need. So this is a thing that works great on Mac systems. We can just use Super Duper, which is free, and just does it without bitching around. As you can see, I can check here the SSD, that's this one, and our Ultimate Powerbook is the target, and see what we can do. We can back it up. Yeah, so let's back up the entire disk. This is probably gonna take a little while. There is some stuff on here, so yeah, we will see, and then we can boot it up and see how fast it really is. So an awful long time later, it finally copied, and it copied around 20 gigabytes, and it took an eternity. Why am I buying SSDs for if it copies with 9 megabytes per second? I don't know why it does that, but anyway, it is copied. Now let's shut down this one because I'm confident enough that we'll not need it anymore. Now let's see if our cloning process actually worked. Ooh, we are going somewhere. Yeah, that's looking good. That is looking like a working Powerbook right there. Awesome. That worked brilliantly. Good, now let's check out about this Mac. 2 gigabytes of RAM. I've never had so much RAM in any PowerPC Mac I owned before, and our SSD right there, mSATA SSD, 64 gigabytes. Oh yes, that is just sweet, really really sweet. So it's indicating the thing, which it usually does. Just gonna delete some stuff, and then we'll do a Cinebench and compare it to my other PowerPC Macs and see how much faster it is. And once again, we're back in my kitchen, and I just gave it a clean, and boy, it just looks 10 times better. I mean, check it out now. It's not disgusting anymore, it's not sticky, and the screen is like absolutely gorgeous. There's nothing wrong with it, no scratch, no problem whatsoever. So that always shows you can just make them look much nicer when you just give it a little bit of a clean. And I didn't go overboard with cleaning, it just a once over really, nothing too fancy. But alone the keyboard, it looks just much better to type on and to touch really. So yeah, this definitely cleaned up nice. And sure, it's not perfect, it's got the little dent here and something's bent there and there, as you can see, but I mean really for the price I paid for it, it's absolutely okay. And what it's got under the hood, it's definitely worth it. It's another shot of the lid here, and yeah, so let's run a Cinebench and compare it to the other computers, and then we'll finish off this video. So I ran a Cinebench 2003, and let's see how our Powerbook fared in this test, and as you can see, it is pretty high up there. Only below the iMac G5, which is a little bit faster because it's a desktop chip. It's actually considerably faster. But as you can see, I have in total tested here a 1.5 and a 1.33, and our 1.67 has 131 and the 1.5 100. So that seems to me a little bit suspicious that the test here on the 15-inch 1.5 is kind of something didn't go right, because I can't believe that this is so much faster. Sure, the 1.67 has the advantage that we changed the thermal paste, but I just can't I can't believe that it's that much faster. I need to rerun that test, but nevertheless, it is the fastest of the G4s, and out of all PowerPCs I have, except the iMac G5, as you can see right there. So web browsing works okay. I have here no script installed, and also I run Pi-hole, which helps it quite a bit, loading stuff and not bloating it too much. But you still gotta respect, after all, that's a very old computer and single core processor, and yeah, it's not gonna be a rocket ship, obviously. But as you can see, when you have patience, it does load also heavy duty websites like here, Spiegel.de. But anybody who says you can use that, no, sorry. But what you can use it for, and that's unbelievable. If you have the desire, for whatever reason, to watch YouTube on a PowerPC, you can. And it's not that hard to, first of all, do, but also it's working pretty well. I have here this application. I can't remember who made that application, but kudos to this person. It's called 10.5tube, and as the name suggests, it only works on 10.5, so 10.4 is unfortunately not working with this program. But this program is so awesome in that it is basically its own little YouTube web browser. And when you, for example, launch it for the first time here, just relaunch it there for you. By the way, here's some temperatures to keep track of, and it's definitely the coolest of all the PowerPC Macs I have. That thermal paste was a good idea to change. Right now in idle it's 49 degrees. Pretty okay for a G4, I'd say. Now here, as you can see, it launches in this little window. You can also, I think, make it bigger. Yeah, you can make it full screen-ish. And it uses a app-style mobile version of YouTube, which is easier on the system. And then you can, when you click on a video, you can watch it just like you would watch it on an iPad or something, which is insane. And as you can see, the frame rate, guys, first of all, it didn't load very long, and also the frame rate is almost perfect. Here, that's an old video from Knight Rider, obviously. And you can even do some changes when you go in here to the gear here. You can change the quality from 240 to 360, 720 even. More is really not necessary since we only have an HD screen anyway. If you try to play back HD, obviously it's not gonna do it. Just a slideshow of some pictures there. But, I mean, that's nothing I expected and nothing I complain about because it's obvious. But you can watch 360p, as you saw, absolutely fine. I mean, you gotta be patient. Once again, it's an old computer, so we can expect super awesome performance. But alone that you can do this. I mean, check it out. This is a YouTube video playing on a Powerbook G4, and that's smooth. That is something that all us PowerPC fans know, was for long not really possible, especially on such a computer. On G5s, yes, but on this one, not really. Oh yeah, if you have the desire once again to watch a PowerPC on Leopard YouTube, go with this. It's also easier on the system. The CPU is right now at 55 degrees, and you can watch 360 no problem. And I suppose 480 too if it lets you choose it. So yeah, I just had to show you that. That's exceptionally awesome that they developed this program. So kudos to the guys who did that. Once again, only works on Leopard, but yeah. Anyway, this 2 gigabytes of RAM, those help quite a lot with the operating system. It is very responsive. This is definitely the best sort of Leopard experience I ever had, because it's just so fast and snappy, and it just this 2 gigabytes of RAM was a great idea. So if you really plan on using that for something, max out the RAM. It's the best thing you can do. And yeah, there it is, guys. Our ultimate PowerBook G4. Ultimate upgraded. No more possible. The only thing you could do is maybe get a bigger SSD, but it's really no point in doing that for me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Was quite a fun project for me. The only thing is a shame that the battery doesn't work, but I don't want to buy a new battery. Also, one viewer suggested me that I should build the battery myself. Like you can watch a cool video from the he used to be called iBook guy, but now he's called the 8-bit guy. And what he would do is he would rebuild a battery from a G3 clamshell using only the cells. So he wouldn't buy a whole battery, he would just swap the cells. I would love to do that, but once again, it's just no use to me, because this computer is not going to be used for a lot. So yeah, but still, maybe I'll do that in the future someday. Also, I'm very looking forward to try out some Linux on this thing, because obviously here we have a brilliant system to try to get PowerPC Linux fast and nice to run on. That's something I will look into in the future. Maybe Debian, maybe Ubuntu Mate, I don't know, if whatever works. And yeah, that's something I really want to check out in the future. But for now, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I quite like doing this project. That was a really, really cool build. And so yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and see you later.